Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Fan. This is the recorded video for week 3, day 3. Just a reminder, there was no video for week 3, day 2 because it was an independent working day where you complete 2 additional stations from your scientific method lab. In today's class, we talked about what claim, evidence, and reasoning are. We also complete a Kahoot challenge as well. Let's talk about what claim, evidence, and reasoning are. This comes after your experiment, data collection, and your analysis. It comes at the very end of your scientific method as a part of your scientific conclusion. What is claim, evidence, and reasoning? Claim is a one-sentence answer to the question you investigate. It states specifically the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. Independent variable again is what you are changing in the experiment, and the dependent variable is a result of the experiment. Evidence. In this section, you want to use data that you collected from your experiments to prove the claim. It can again be qualitative data or quantitative data. So it can be just observation that you make, or it can be observation you make with numbers. We'll take a look at some example after this. Reasoning tie together the claim and evidence. It shows how and why the data counts as evidence to support the claim. It also provides an explanation why the results occur. Let's take a look at an example. The problem said, which type of battery lasts longer and maintains its voltage for the longest time? Name brand or the generic brand? The hypothesis said, if a name brand battery is used in a flashlight, then you stay a little longer than the generic brand because it has more stored energy. Notice in the hypothesis, it has if, then, and because. Those are 3 things that you want to include in your hypothesis. In the conclusion, claim. The generic brand battery lasts longer and maintains its voltage for the longest time than the name brand battery. Notice in the claim, it's not an explanation. It's a very direct answer stating what you have tested and what your result is. And right here, the result is that the generic brand battery actually lasts longer than the name brand battery. Next, evidence. Right here, there is 3 data that we have. Notice right here, there is no explanation in this part. It's just stating the specific data from what you collected from your experiment. The one flashlight, it lasts 6 hours and 39 minutes. Another one lasts 5 hours 43 minutes. Another one lasts 8 hours 16 minutes. Reasoning right here at the last part, this is where you are going to provide your explanation. For example, the flashlight with the generic brand say lit the longest. It proved that they will maintain the voltage for the longest time, and it shows how one has more stored energy than the other brand. Let's take a look at another example. Right here, does having worm in soil help plants grow faster? What do you think this one is? Adding worms to the soil help the tomato plant in it grow more tomato. Do you think this would be C, claim, evidence, E, or R, reasoning? Think about it. This one right here, this would be a claim. Again, it is a very direct answer. More worms, we will have more tomatoes. It's a very direct answer of what you have concluded in your experiment. How about the second one? Worms feed on plant debris in the soil. They then release nutrient in the soil, making this extra nutrient available to the tomato plants. What do you think this one is? Claim, evidence, or reasoning? Yes, this would be reasoning. Because right here, we can see an explanation how worms feed on the plant debris and then that causes nutrient to be released, and thus extra nutrients would help tomato plants to grow more tomatoes. How about the last one right here? The tomato plants with worms in the soil produce an average of 15 tomatoes per plant, while the plants with worms in the soil only produce an average of 10 tomatoes per plant. What do you think this one is? Claim, evidence, or reasoning? Yes, this one would be an evidence. Again, it is a very direct data we collected that tomatoes plants with worms yield 15 tomatoes per plant and those without worms have 10 tomatoes per plant. Let's take a look at one more example. Does the amount of air affect how high a basketball bounces? The first one said, as air is added to a basketball, it becomes more squished. This air then pushes more on the inside of the ball. With more air in the ball, the air starts at higher pressure and pushes back that much harder when the ball is bounced. Would this sentence be claim, evidence, or reasoning? Yes, this would be reasoning because we see an explanation how more air lead to the basketball to be more squished and more pressure, and that the ball will be able to bounce higher. How about the second sentence right here? The more inflated a basketball is, the higher it will bounce. What would this be? Claim, evidence, or reasoning? Yes, this will be claim because we can see a very direct relationship. The more inflated it is, the higher it will bounce. How about the third one? When dropped from a height of 3 meters, the basketball with the most air in it bounced back 2.5 meters, while the basketball with the least air bounced back only 1.5 meters high. This would be evidence. Because again, we can see the data. If it is dropped from a height of 3 meters and they bounce back 2.5 meters. So again, all these numbers, all this data, this would be a part of evidence. Next, we are going to have the Kahoot challenge. Take a look at the link at the bottom in the description. I post the self-paced Kahoot challenge that you can try. The link will be open until September 30th. With that, this leads to our independent work time. Again, for the scientific method lab, there are 6 labs you should complete. We finished 2 stations on day 1, 2 stations on day 2 when you work independently, and you will finish 2 more stations today for day 3. Have a great day.